StickyTriflePodcast. Welcome to the Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And welcome once again, and we are heading into Weatherspoons with some hand sanitizer. And there's been a lot of debates, a lot of rumours being said about what actually happened with Weatherspoons staff, and I can confirm right now that the rumours you've heard are totally untrue. And unfortunately, depending on how you listen to, you'll never believe the real truth. Is what happens with most stories in a broch. But I'm certainly not here for politics. I'm here for a pint. Right, let's go and see what our guest's saying, and if he's happy with his pint.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And welcome once again to Sticky Trifle Podcast. And we've got in, once again, he's back, and Mervyn Rose.
That's the name?
It's good to see you again.
It's been that name.
It's all, you've never changed it?
Never changed my name.
Never had any nicknames or anything either?
There was a reason for my name.
Why?
I'll tell you why. My mother was awful fond of tennis.
Tennis?
Tennis, yes.
Right.
You know, back in the 30s there was no TV and stuff like that. There was a movie they used in the cinema, and she used to play tennis in summertime. And she married my father, who obviously, and his surname was Rose, and she called me by the name I've got just now, Marvin, because there was a famous Australian tennis player, and it was his name, Mervyn Rose.
And he's your real dad?
No, it's not my real dad. My mother never kenned him. Oh no, she'd turn on her grave if you said that.
And so the Rose bit, Rose?
South England.
So
Came from France originally.
You're like, granny and grandfather's was for England?
Yes,
Right,
on my father's side, aye.
Right, okay.
My mother's side, it's off for this area. But the name Rose, they came over from France, northern France, and settled in Southampton. It was some of my ancestors, and that's how it was Rose, but then it was changed to Rose.
I'm sure there's a lot of folk who's been hearing a Rose the last 4 months.
I'm sure there has been, aye.
Now listen, we're doing in Weatherspoons.
Yes, that's right.
And you're one of the locals here.
Aye.
This is your favourite pub.
Right.
You better watch what you're saying, because if Dennis for Cheers or Willie for Bala is watching us, they wouldn't be happy, eh? Now, Weatherspoons, now as far as I can, there's a wee rumour about the person had sacked his staff. Now, I don't know what's true, because some of the staff is still working here.
I can't answer that question truthfully, because I didn't
I
didn't work here, so I can't comment really.
There must have been some furloughing going on, I presume.
It'd been,
so I don't think Abdi was sacked, as the rumour goes, and a lot of folk was saying that, but who true it is we don't know. But anyway, this used to be called, if it was this card before Weatherspoons.
Saltoun Hotel.
Saltoun Hotel.
Aye.
And was it popular, Marvin?
I can mine it from I was 50 years ago. I can mine it, and it was a popular place, Ken. But then it eventually closed, and as you can, and it fell into disrepair. And then the Weatherspoons took it over and renovated, took the place back to the way it was, and renovated it at a great cost. Which was good of them to do that, again. But the Saltoun Hotel was built originally in 1801, and some of the steins that was used to build the place were sitting in, came for a house that was located there, which was owned by the Frasers, the castle, which is now the lighthouse.
Hold on, so they partly had something to do with this
They
place?
had some kind of property here, and then out in the front here, out in front of the place, and this place was designed by a man called Alexander Morris, and he was also responsible for the changing of the old kirk across the road, because that was originally built in the 1570s, I think, and then in 1803 it was revamped and made into what it is today. And then
so how much did this beer garden definitely didn't exist, did it?
No, it didn't exist. Well, this bit of ground existed, but I'd never seen it before until Weatherspoons opened up.
And you
here.
was drinking here in 1803?
No, not quite 1803. I don't think I'd want to see back our distance.
Right now, you're doing a pub a lot.
It's something to do.
Aye.
Let's
speak about some pubs here, right? Because we've got quite a few ranges. Okay, we've got Cheers, which is just across the road.
That's right.
If you didn't get Cheers,
It's a fine place, a fine great big outdoor place, and it's a fine pub.
Balaclava Bar,
I'm never in it, I can't comment 'cause I'm never in it.
Kenyan,
I'm never in it, so I can't comment.
Finlay's.
Finlay's, I used to go there when Finlay's had it, but I haven't been there in recent times at all, and I don't know again if they're busy or if they're not busy. I couldn't tell you, I couldn't answer that question.
What about Leisure Centre? Have you ever in Leisure Centre for a pint?
Very, very, very seldom, but that's as far as I'm aware is still shut.
Right. Black Sands,
I think that's shut as well.
Oak Tree.
I think it is shut too.
I'm just checking to see if you've been doing checking.
No, I hadn't been doing checking, I just found out because somebody told me.
Right now, speaking about other pubs, okay, so this is your local, you feel like?
Aye.
Probably mine and actually. This is the first place I'll come before venturing to other places.
Yes.
But there's negatives and positives about going to pub. So if it's your positives, for you when you go to a pub, is it basically just about us, or is it socialise?
Socialise, get somebody to speak to. I mean, you can sit in the house all day long and be bored to tears, or you can come down the road and hopefully get somebody to speak to again.
Aye.
And it's just I like speaking to folk.
And especially with you being retired, it's something that's critical for you.
Short amount of time, you can.
Aye.
And it's fine to be able to come down here and speak to folk again.
And plus, when you're driving, it's not like you get a boot, is it? You didn't.
No, I didn't drive. I didn't drive. Well, I've no a car, and I think I've said that in previous times you've spoken to me again.
And right, so positives about the pub is socialising for you. Is that a number one aspect?
I would think it. I think it would be. Yes, that's a fair comment to make.
And it's kind of strange because I would agree with exactly what you're saying. It's, if I'm out, it would be you'd think I need to speak and socialise.
That's right, aye.
And plus a drink and that.
That's right.
Negative wise, there is negatives to pubs and that now. So how do you handle a drink?
Well, I didn't talk too much.
So, and you've never had a problem with drink in the past?
No.
No.
I wouldn't again and get drunk.
But you've had a good time in the past. You must have had, aye, when you was younger.
But he is, I presume, isn't it? You can't. I mean.
So when did you have your first drink when you was younger?
Probably when I was 16.
16,
and it was against the law.
Was it?
I think it was against the law, and as far as I'm aware.
So you was a bit of a rebel back in your
No,
days,
not at all. Oh no, just a normal guy.
Now, other negatives with a pub, and you'll probably agree with us. Sometimes, if you're out to a pub, obviously there's all our generation, and there's a younger generation.
Yes, that's right.
Now, younger ones, they want to party hard. They live for a moment. So when you're out, you might hear a table or somebody going, "Way!" and they're noisy.
It's no bad in here because there's no music playing or anything like that in TVs on mucking a noise again. It's all fairly quiet in here.
I would agree.
We'll get a bit louder when the place is off busy, which you would understand, because there's more people speaking. But no, it's just a fine place to come to. I like it.
I totally agree, and we're at a brilliant location there. I never thought we'd be sitting here. We're sitting here. I think we're the first guys to do this, isn't it?
Probably are.
Now, I'll tell you another thing. I've been bumping into quite a few folk, and a few folks saying, I like that guy Marvin. I like that guy Marvin on the podcast. So there's quite a few folk like when you're on.
Why?
Because you're our expert history buff now.
The history.
You've got all the dates for back in the day.
That's right.
You can about all that. Now, I'm a wee bit worried now because we might be losing you, and I'm not speaking health-wise. He's not going yet, are you? But I'm speaking about you might be in future leaving the broch?
Well, I
for
might
good?
be. I might be, but the broch is my home tune. You know what I mean? And it will be. And I like finding out about the history of the broch. There's one thing I hear about or I wonder about. I can find out about it.
So I'm a bit worried because we never can find your last time might be in a podcast when you're
Well,
on every...
my last time will be on Earth. We don't
Now, so I'm wondering where you're going. Where are you going to go? If let's just say you move for the broch, where are you going to go?
Oh, probably Thailand. Again, it's probably the best.
Now you spoke about Thailand before, so you're a big fan of Thailand.
It's got its plus and negative points as well.
Okay, if it's your plus points, wait, is it a weather?
Well, the weather's good. It's a tropical climate.
Is it like hot and?
And it's hot and sticky all the time.
Right,
Sticky.
And you can live pretty cheaply out there. And but against that, there's an awful lot of insects, and you've got to use air conditioning a lot, which can affect your breathing. You can't. It's a lot of the air is recirculated.
Are you speaking about all night? So if you're in a sleep in a bed, are you going to be like mosquitoes and stuff? Bit bites.
Right.
So mosquitoes is a big thing.
Mosquitoes, right? They cause two big diseases: dengue and malaria.
Dengue.
And malaria.
I've heard of malaria.
And they can. There's still thousands of people die every year in different continents of malaria and dengue.
Wow.
A lot of people die of it.
And so how's that counteracted over there? Is that like
Well, you try
lotion?
and keep yourself as clean as you can. And
Is that like if you got screens?
And no, if the apartment I bed in is pretty modern, and you didn't need screens as such. So it's wise sometimes to spray the room before you get to bed. You can. Because there is mosquitoes get in there obviously when the door's been opened and shut. You can. No, it's it's fine out there. It's okay.
Right. So now, see Thailand. If I mind right, you mentioned something about was there a big storm or something happened?
I can't exactly what you're speaking about. That was in 2011.
But you can't as date.
Because I'm minding it. It's important to me to mind dates.
All right, you seen it on the news?
No, I'll just tell you the story.
All right,
If there's
okay.
time to
All
tell
right,
you.
plenty of time for you. We've always got time for you.
So, I had planned to get to Thailand, and then the news come on the normal TV in the broch, and then the Home Office come on, or it was a Foreign Office, I can't remember, but it's some government department, and they said, we advise people not to go to Thailand. So I paid my ticket.
So you would have lost your money if you...
I'd have lost my money. Well, I went to the insurance company and said to the insurance company, the Home Office or whatever it's called, the government have said it's not a good idea to travel to Thailand. So I said, can I get my money back through my insurance because I've paid insurance for it? And the answer was no. And I said, why? And they said, if you've paid your money and the aeroplane goes to Thailand and you're not on it, you didn't get nothing back. It's as simple as that.
So you'd lost nothing.
So I can't better, which is one of the biggest mistakes of my life. And I decided to go to Thailand. So when I got to Bangkok, which is Suvarnabhumi airport, I got there. You wouldn't have guessed there was a flood. So I went outside.
So you go there and you're thinking, this place is fine. There's no
This is
problem.
fine. There's no water, no signs of it. Everybody was going about their business. But whenever I went outside, it said for I was going to a taxi driver.
I was like, no. Mervyn.
Which means no.
Okay.
So after asking several taxi drivers, and that's all that guy said, he says, I'll try and talk you before you're gone. But he says there's an awful lot of water and it was a flood. And it's...
Are you speaking by water? Here?
No, I'm speaking about water that I experienced afterwards when I got further inland, was up to 6 feet deep.
Right, you speaking the height of us?
Yes.
That's how deep it was?
Yes.
So who says domestic
Flooded,
use and
everything was flooded. But I'll just tell you how I found out about it, okay? And so we set out. The gang was an hour and a quarter to travel to the place in Thailand that I was going to. And so was set out, and just within 5-10 minutes, there was cars broken down at the side of the road on the freeway or motorways, they call it, or whatever they call the roads over there. Ours is motorways, America's freeways. And there was cars broken down all the way in big flooded sections of road, which we all got through safely. And then, as time went on, 3 hours passed, and I was still nowhere near where I was going to. And I looked ahead, it was a straight bit of road, and there was nothing but water.
Wow.
And the next thing I feel is my feet getting wet. The water was coming into the car, and it was sewage.
And at that point, was you worried? You must have been worried.
Aye, because it was an hour's time, it was going to be dark.
I'm scared about getting my trainers full, never mind my body.
So, I left the boy, and then I got on a bus, and the bus was a rear-engine bus, and it was laid on by the government. And the water was coming in the door and swirling out, can run about inside the bus and running out again.
Wow.
But he didn't take me very far. I didn't mind. It was maybe a mile, as far as he could go, because the water got too deep. So then I transferred to a boat, which was a taxi.
You didn't just find a boat when there was a flood?
Oh, there is, because they're on duty.
You was just
They're on duty there to make money, and they can tourists or anybody coming there is going to struggle for transport. So I used a boat, several boats in fact, and then motorcycles which drove in the centre.
A motorcycle kind of going 6 feet of water?
No, drove in the central reservation on some of the bits of roads which were relatively being higher ground, I presume.
But still
and the water wasn't so bad. You can the pipes out their exhaust pipe going up into the atmosphere.
To stop exhaust flooding?
That's right, aye. So I did that several times, and then I met up with it was pitch black by this time, and I met up with some folk with a truck, and they saw that I was a foreigner, obviously, and they asked me where I was gone, and I told them, well, we'll take you. But all he was wanting was some money off me.
In fact, was they driving?
They were driving a pickup truck, and the wifey was as drunk. She went in the truck at the back.
She was drunk?
And let me into the passenger seat with the driver, which I assumed was her husband, and she was as drunk she fell out of it.
Right, okay. This is really interesting.
So then...
You like meeting us kind of folk?
Oh, I'm half interested, but I was getting a bit uptight.
How did you ken she was... How did you ken she was drunk?
I just heard her speaking, and I think she was... Why she was fawing about? She was bleeding. Anyway, it was pitch black by this time, and I was getting a bit panicky kind, because I was going up a street in a boat, another boat, and the guy had his flashlight, his torch out, to shine on the water, because the street lights weren't working.
So it was pitch
and there
dark.
was cars were tumbling about in the water and everything, coming down the street.
Aye.
And so I can't imagine how many motorcycles I used, which was motorcycle taxis, on boats. But I wasn't in the right place. I just didn't recognise it. So eventually, I seen the sign Tesco Lotus, which is Tesco.
So they've even got Tesco there?
Aye. And it was lit up because they had power, because they must have generators, and I realised, I recognised, should I say, exactly where I was. So I said, right. So I paid the boy, and by this time it was nearly 8 o'clock at night. So at 6 hours I'd been on the go.
For this should have took 1 hour and 15 minutes maybe?
An hour and a quarter. And I was soaking wet with sewage and everything, sitting in it.
And so was there a chance of stuff being in the water, obviously sewage, so you could have got diseases?
Yeah, but
and
I mean,
stuff?
what I found out afterwards, after I'd been there for a day or two, that a lot of the crocodiles had escaped to the crocodile farms, and there was also illegal crocodile farms, so nobody knew how many crocodiles was in the water.
Was that folk must have been going missing in the water with crocodiles?
Well, I assume so, because I didn't want to chance them. And
why was they letting the crocodiles out of this?
They weren't letting them out. The flood waters moved in, and the water levels went up, and they just swam out. I presume.
Right. Okay. Fid, did you hear? I suppose if somebody went missing over here, there's no proof because the crocodile's taking him, and you're gone.
Well, there'd be no trace.
So somebody could have gone first. Anybody seen Marvin? You're gone. Exactly.
So anyway, I went in a boat there at Tesco. And then we went down, and I told the guy the direction to go to get to the flat I was going to. And the boat went straight into the flats at the foot of the stairs, and I climbed out the the boat then. And funnily enough, there was a woman that I ken out there, happened to be coming down the stairs right before she was gone, and she helped me.
Wow.
Again, and I was just absolutely soaking with sewage. And that's 6.5 hours after leaving the airport.
So it was a pretty traumatic experience.
Pretty
Was that one of the
traumatic.
worst experiences you've had?
It was one of the most stupidest things I ever did. in
How
my life.
did you actually think? Is this really worth all this hassle?
Well, I thought to myself, I've got to go now because I was committed.
You couldn't go back, could you?
Couldn't-
Once you
couldn't-
started in
Oh
it.
no, I couldn't go back and do back to what? Back to the airport and sit out there for days waiting on another flight.
Aye.
So it was one of the most hair-raising experiences I've ever had in my life. You can. And,
Really interesting story. I didn't even care you actually experienced this.
Well, the next day, in daylight, the army was coming around with boats and the big four-wheel drive motors could handle the shallower bits of the water, but a lot of it was still off a deep. And they were coming to the houses and asking how many people were there, and they were handing out supplies, soap, sardines and stuff like that.
Aye.
And the water would go off, though there was water all the way, and the electric would go off because all the plugs were getting flooded in the lower houses with the water, and a lot of folk were electrocuted and killed.
Wow. And how was your health when you once you got here?
Well, then I got food poisoning because the next day I was out at somebody's house, and we took a taxi over, which was a boat, and the boat was sailed right into the living room, came through the patio doors, which were obviously open, and then climbed up onto the roof.
Right.
And it was so deep there that fishermen were out with nets catching fish. There was fish
Right outside.
right outside. I saw them.
That's
In
unreal.
fact, I've got photographs somewhere which I tried to find them, but I can't make further out.
Unbelievable.
And it was absolutely horrific,
Aye.
and one of the most hair-raising moments of my life.
I believe
When
it.
people out fishing, well, we were about 2 miles from the river,
Aye.
the Chao Phraya River, I think it's called.
Yep.
And we were about 2 miles from it, yet the water was 6 feet deep.
6 feet. Wow. That's
In
crazy.
bits, aye. Then gradually over the forthcoming weeks, they took in other taxis, which were the tractors they use on the paddy fields, rice fields. And they have great big wheels, and the engine is located about 5 feet off the ground for going through the parks, not through the fields. So they put trailers onto them, and there was taxis. You just jumped on the side of the trailer and went to taxi, and they took you up to Tesco's or wherever you're gone.
Unreal.
So it was absolutely horrific.
That was an environmental thing that happened 2011 over there for sure.
Yes, it
right?
was. What happened was that there was so much rain in the monsoons, more than normal, and a lot of the ditches and exits for the water to get out of the place was never maintained.
Right,
So therefore the rivers just burst their banks, and it was water all the way.
It was real.
Real water, just all the way.
Wow.
There was dead animals lying all bloated in the street and stuff like that. Once the water went down again, I've never seen so many flies in my life.
And they was attracted to fit.
Attracted to the rubbish because they couldn't empty the rubbish out. All these rubbish was weeks and weeks and weeks, and the boiling heat sun was just all left there. It was disgusting.
Unreal. Gee.
Again, and then I got food poisoning, and I got an upset stomach with that. But I was lucky.
What do you think you got food poisoning for?
I think it was something I ate in somebody's house that I was in to visit, but I can't be sure.
Aye.
Now I'm going to change the subject because there was something you were speaking to me about
Right.
the other day.
Okay.
when I met you, and we were speaking about the railway station.
Now you keep on mentioning this. Formatine, you say.
For Martine.
Formatine,
Which
which is the old railway. Is this down behind
the South Kirk.
like South Kirk, down for Leisure Centre, basically?
Doing the leisure centre, that's right.
And you've gone on about this for a minute, but looking at access, there is this building, but it's owned by one of the fish factories, isn't
It's where it's Iceberg, it's down there now.
Aye.
The only bit of the railway station that's left is the engine, the sheds where they used to have the engines, put the engines in at night. And also in front of there, and just over to the left hand side, depends what direction you're facing, is the dike, which is still there, of the turntable for the turn the engines route.
So had it funded the railway close
I'll just tell you.
for the broch to...
We'll just go through it.
Aye, okay.
Okay, for the benefit of anybody that's maybe watching this podcast. The Formartine Railway translated for Martin means Martin's land.
Martin's land.
Martin land. And it was in Gaelic. And I'm never even going to try and pronounce the Gaelic. So I can't even say the word.
Yep.
Anyway, in the 18th of July 1861, the first section of the railway was laid for Dyson Aberdeen to Mintla. In 1862, it was extended to Peterhead. In 1865, on the 24th of April 1865, it was extended to the Broch. And on the 1st of July 1903, it was extended to the Cairnbulg in St Combs.
How does he care his dates? I have any idea.
Well, it's true. You go on anybody can check it and they'll find it's true. And then, when it closed, it was in the railway for passengers closed in 1865. In 1965, 1865 was when it opened, as I said. 1965, and then the Hale Railway closed on the 6th of October 79, and that stopped the freight. The freight trains run till then. Then after that, it was all lifted and scrapped.
Wow.
And that was it. That was the end of the railway.
Was this railway popular for the Broch?
Yes, it was popular. It was very popular.
And so why did it close down?
Beeching was the transport money after whatever he was called, the government minister, and he was having cuts to save money and putting more vehicles onto the road as opposed to the railway, and the Broch suffered it.
And so would you say, if nowadays, I presume it's far too much work to get a railway line going back for the Broch to Aberdeen?
It'll never happen.
It'll never happen, because it's all been scrapped.
It's all been scrapped, I think.
And we're speaking millions and millions.
The Fort Martin way for people to use bicycles and walking. And it goes either way. It goes either way for the Broch to Dice. You know, the total amount of line mileage miles were laid was 57 miles of railway line in total. That's in total. Okay.
So you think that was a massive loss when they scrapped the railway?
It's just my opinion. It was a massive loss, and I can mind it vividly. You can.
And so again, maybe one day in future we might get down to see us. I don't know if it's left out. You seem to care more than me.
The two buildings and the ground, like a granite dike, and it was that's where the turntable was for turning the engines round about. It was made of wood and steel.
What are you weighing? What kind of price was it when this railway existed? If it was a cost, let's say, going for Broch to Aberdeen.
I can't mind, because I've done it.
So it was cheap, was it cheap?
It must have been cheap, I can't mind it. I mind being on the train because...
So you was really young when you was on this train?
Oh aye, I can remember it clearly though. I've got a vivid memory of it. I can mind it, I can mind the railway station. I can mind the woman that worked down there in the kiosk. Was a Queen Manny that worked in there, and I can mind her clear as one thing. I can mind it as clear as a bell. You can? And when I was a little boy, I was obsessed.
That's exactly why you're on here, because sometimes you seem to have a lot of knowledge about history or big famous places or buildings, and it's really good, because I don't know anybody else that can sprout us dates like you, Marvin, so it's impressive. So anyway, I guess that's going to be it, and we've just been having a drink at Weatherspoons here, eh?
In a pint, that's right.
Father thought we'd be doing this for Weatherspoons.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And so did I. We'll see you next week for this.
Okay.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
Sticky Trifle Podcast will return next week.
Once again, Marvin, with his photographic memory, takes up some dates for the past. Anyway, I'm going to want to check out this food menu, and maybe time for one more pint with Marvin just before I head off, eh? Remember, don't believe everything you read in the press or hear in the media, because sometimes it's just made up rumours. And anyway, isn't that where rumours usually start? In the pub. Stay positive in August, and see you next week. Bye.